Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. If you thought last week was Harry and Meghan heavy, you probably haven't seen nothing this week, my goodness. So we have another revelation today come through. So this was actually an official release to the press. It was a press communications which was broadcast by lots of official royal reporters who would have received this this statement, this broadcast, and obviously they have shared it. Lots of articles have been written. So I made a video pretty much straight away telling you what it said. I'm going to read that again, but I just want to talk about it and around it and about the whole situation because now obviously we have some facts to go on. Everything else that we've kind of previously spoken about before has all been speculation. Press speculation, my speculation, everyone's speculation, everyone's putting their 2 pennies worth in, and now we do have a little bit of official information which we can now try to make sense of and form, I think, a new view, a new opinion of what is likely to be the course of action going forward, and also perhaps some of the ramifications of it, because yes, anyway, we're just going to go through it like we always do. We will discuss it, we will go through it, and I will read your comments and we'll see how we go. So first of all, I'm going to pull up the chat room, and hello to everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you've all had a really good day. I know I have. Oh, where are you all? Here you are. Hang on, why is that not a big on my screen? Hang on. Hang on. Right, I'm not liking that. Why is that not big? Sorry, my screen has just come up really, really tiny. I don't know why. I can't read that. My eyes aren't that good. Right, where's it gone? Hang on just a second. Where is it? Oh, please don't tell me I can't access the chat room. No, don't do this to me. Hang on. Oh no, it's doing it now. It's done it. It's fine. It was so tiny I couldn't see. Okay, now I'm going to put it onto live chat and then everything will be fine. Yes, hello to everyone. I can see you all now. Apparently it's 3:30 AM in Australia. Glad you got up early. I think you did. Yes, it's the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. I'm glad you like it. Right, first of all, let's read what I read in the first video that I did this morning. So this is from the Royal Communications, an operational note. So basically they're briefing the press about what's going to happen around the birth of the baby. So it's dated today, Thursday the 11th of April 2019, and it says media facilities ahead of the birth of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's baby. So we definitely know we are in the zone now because they are communicating with the press as to what's going to happen. So the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are very grateful for the goodwill they have received from people throughout the United Kingdom and around the world as they prepare to welcome their baby. Their Royal Highnesses have taken a personal decision to keep the plans around the arrival of their baby private. The Duke and Duchess look forward to sharing the exciting news with everyone once they have had an opportunity to celebrate privately as a new family. So they're doing it their way. It reminds me of that song, you know. Yeah, they just want to do it their own way, and I think they have done, which is kind of what has been reported. So maybe, perhaps, some of the reports coming out from supposedly, you know, inside sources, although not always correct, but maybe some of the friends perhaps have been talking, I don't know, or maybe some of the press have got wind of the upcoming royal communication that's coming out, I don't know. Perhaps even this was put out and embargoed and then they were just kind of speculating, I don't know. But it seems like they do want a lot of privacy, and they're going to do it their way. Now it doesn't kind of say quite how soon they will make the announcement. I'm thinking it's going to be round about perhaps 2 days after giving birth to the baby. I'm thinking round about 2 days after, where I believe there has actually been a photo call will be announced. So where that's going to happen, I don't know. Could it be in Frogmore House, not the cottage? I don't think Harry and Meghan will invite the media to their cottage, but it could be the Frogmore House, the big one. It could even be at Windsor Castle. There could be some kind of photo call. So although Meghan has avoided the baby parade immediately after the birth, this camera's a bit high. I still think, you know, they are going to do... Still too low. They are going to show off the baby in some kind of capacity, but it won't be immediately after the birth. Meghan will have had time to, you know, adjust slightly to being a new mom, and at least it's not immediately after the birth. Again, this kind of, to me now, gives us a whole, paints a whole new picture. Now that they are in Frogmore, I'm thinking that if they aren't going to announce it to the world when the baby when Meghan's in labour or when the baby is born, that says to me, I think it is actually going to be a home birth. And I know I spoke at length about this yesterday, saying all the potential pitfalls of having a home birth and why I think technically a hospital birth is probably better. But if they are going to remain private, going to a hospital would leak out. The media would find out. So therefore, it wouldn't be private and they would be forced to make the announcement early. So that tells me that if they're planning on keeping it so quiet and so low-key until they are ready, that to me points firmly in the direction of a home birth. Now, like I say, yesterday I went through all the kind of pitfalls and whatever, but it also doesn't rule out a hospital birth. I think if Meghan does need a hospital birth, if there is any kind of complication, then she will be taken to hospital, regardless of whether she wants a home birth or not. If it's the safest thing to do, then that is what they will do. However, I'm now not thinking London at all. If, as they're in Frogmore Cottage, as she's planning what I think is probably a home birth, I think it puts Frimley Park Hospital, where the Countess of Wessex had her children, I'm thinking it puts that in reserve. So I think that will be the reserve hospital. That will probably be on standby in case Meghan needs it. Again, it doesn't rule out the London hospitals. They still could happen, but the closest vicinity to Frogmore is the Frimley Park Hospital. It's a good hospital. It's where the Countess of Wessex had her children. So I'm thinking that would probably be the standby hospital in case Meghan does need something like a caesarean, or, you know, if there's complications, that kind of thing. But yes, basically the media has been dismissed. Like, here's your papers, baby, you are dismissed. I mean, oh my goodness. But which I think presents its own pitfalls in itself. Let me just take a sip of tea, seeing as I'm spilling some tea. But yes, I still think it presents a few issues, because even though Meghan and Harry are probably very, very happy in their own little bubble, which they are perfectly entitled to be in, and I'm so, so happy for them that they've made this decision, that it is what they want. However, if they think it's going to quiet down the media, if they think things are going to be calm, I think they're in for a humongous, you know, realisation that that's not going to be the case. If you shut the media out, you know what's going to happen. They are going to be camped outside Frogmore. They're going to be outside all of the entrances. They will be looking to see the midwives coming in and coming out. Every time a medical person arrives, it will be speculation that Meghan's gone into labour, that she's having the baby. We are going to be in for countless speculations now until the actual announcement. Every time the doctor's seen, every time a midwife is seen, oh, can you imagine? They're going to be camped out there. It's going to be dreadful. It really is. And like I say, I'm really, really happy that they are doing this for themselves. But the media are going to just play havoc. They really are. And you know it's true. They're going to be camped outside. They're going to be waiting. And if Meghan does need to go to the hospital to have a hospital birth, it's going to leak anyway, because as soon as they see her being led out by motorcade, flashing lights, all the rest of it. It's going to raise awareness that she's going to have the baby. They'll follow the car. They'll have spies put in every single hospital in the vicinity in case she turns up. They will find out and they will announce it anyway. So I'm glad that they're doing it for themselves. I'm hoping now that she has her home birth and that she doesn't need to come out for anything. So that basically, if the press are at the gates, that's where they stay. They're at the gates, and that's that. And then that's up to the police to make sure that nobody gets in. And I'm just hoping that security is really, really tight on all of this. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure they will leave no stone unturned in making sure that everything is safe and secure. Again, I've just seen a comment pop up. They could be a helicoptered out, but again, if a helicopter comes in and out, it's going to be speculation that the baby's on the way, whatever. Oh, so I don't know. And also, like I say, going back to the photo call, I don't think it's going to be just a photo released. I think it is going to actually be a little bit of a baby parade, but I think it'll be inside. Like I say, I think it'll be either inside Windsor Castle, where a select media will be invited, or perhaps even the main big Frogmore house. I'd be delighted if we did get to see a little bit inside Frogmore Cottage, but I don't think so. I think it will be, you know, Harry and Meghan coming out a couple of days, maybe 3 days, 2-3 days after the birth to show off baby Sussex, their new bundle of joy. But it will be very much on their terms, and if Meghan is not ready 2 or 3 days later, it won't happen. I'm sure they will put their foot down. They are doing it their way, which is good. I really, really do think so. I'm going to go to the comment section because I'm sure everybody has lots to say. Oh, I have a donation, $1.99 from Cheryl Watts. Finally got a notification so I could catch you live. Thank you so much. I'm glad you made it and you get a fan flap. Thank you so much. And let's go up and read some comments. I did see the comments popping up. Okay. No, no, Queen Elizabeth has not banned Meghan from wearing any jewellery. Auntie Dee says the Duchess will have time to recover from the birth and be able to glamour up for the pictures. In her own time, definitely. Kimberly says, I read they will have a private birth and photo call at Windsor Castle. I haven't read that it's going to be at Windsor Castle, but I'd imagine it would be close, either Frogmore House or Windsor Castle, but definitely some kind of photo call, probably with a select media. Kimberly says, the glow and puffiness in the last trimester of a pregnant woman's face cannot be faked. No, it cannot. To all those fake baby bumpers out there. Auntie Dee says, it would be nice if the first family picture is similar to the engagement picture. Possibly. Alexi could be on the case. Darlene says, you knew trolls were going to spread shade about the Duchess not being really pregnant once this was announced. With all the hate spewing though. Yes, it does kind of play into that narrative slightly, but I don't believe that for a second. Floss and Rug Pain says, I hope they have at least a week to themselves. Again, it's entirely up to them and what they're comfortable with. H. London says, I completely understand their wish to keep very private the details of the delivery. Otherwise, one can only guess the gossip that would appear everywhere. Oh, by the way, for people saying that they think this means that Meghan's in labour now, no, that's totally not true because Harry has been out on an engagement today, which I'm hoping I might be able to get time to put out a video later after this. If not, it will be tomorrow. So no, I don't think Meghan's in labour at the moment. I don't think it's been code for anything. I don't think it heralds that baby has been born now because, like I say, Harry has been out on an official engagement. They deserve privacy, says Kimberly. I think so too. Kimberly says, a different Kimberly says the photo call will be at the Long Walk. I don't think so. I'm imagining indoors where it can be controlled. Angel says, I read an article this morning that said baby Sussex was a boy. No, I haven't heard anything. Michelle says it's a circus around them. I would be keeping my first child to myself and my husband. I think that's what they're trying to do for at least a few days. Betty is so excited and saying good for them. Tonya says, for all we know, she could already have given birth. I don't think so. Harry's been out and about today. I don't think he'd have left her. Yes, hopefully on the weekend so I can do a live show. Natalia's thinking they will tell us about the baby a week after he or she's born. Could be. I mean, I'm not ruling that out. Although I'm thinking possibly a few days. Sharon's glad they're doing it their way. So if I'm skipping a few comments. Again, I mean, like I say, this latest news definitely points in the direction, I think, of a home birth now. Quite firmly. Let's put it that way. But we can't rule out a hospital birth, just in case there are complications and that kind of thing. Mrs. Vicente said, media hasn't earned a picture parade. This says their child will be off limits and the media better adhere. Yes. You don't have no business in this. Here's your papers, baby. You are dismissed. Boo. Rhonda's at work. You can catch up later, don't worry. Claire Green says, is there a chance baby Sussex is already here? I don't think so. Lots of other people having their tea. Charlotte says, I'm selfishly a bit bummed they won't be doing the typical royal baby photos, but excited for them and respect their desire for privacy. Like I say, I've always kind of, although I know that it can be very tiresome, very draining, and not very nice on a mother that's just given birth, and indeed a newborn baby as well. But the baby parade does have a purpose in that, you know, it gives the media a little bit of what they want, and then it gives you privacy. So I think up until the point where they do that photo call, there will be intense media scrutiny and everything written under the sun about them. They will have people camped outside, all the rest of it. It will be horrific. But if that's what they want, that's their decision. That is what they want. The typical royal baby parade, it does have its merits. It has its drawbacks. It also has its merits. But they are going to do it their way. And they've made that completely obvious today with this statement that they are doing it their way. Darlene says, superfans were hoping for a baby parade because hooray. But I totally understand their desire for privacy, as do I. Brianna says, I hope the baby will be delivered safe and sound. Yes, I think we're all just hoping for a healthy baby. However, I do hope the announcement will be made on the Queen's birthday. I'm still thinking, you know, mid-April. Maybe a week's time? A week and a bit, maybe? Melody says, I'm wondering if they've received some threats. I don't think so. Judith says, oh, I have had 3 C-sections. Poor dear, if she needs it. If she needs something like that, they'll just take her to hospital. Mrs. BSN says, the media would be camped out even if they did the parade. Well, not necessarily. I mean, if they've got their photo and perhaps they're promised an official photo in, you know, a week's time or 2 weeks' time, they may be at bay. I mean, you know, Frogmore, I guess, is a little bit more private than perhaps Kensington Palace, you know, in the middle of London, and you know, still they would have their privacy at both locations. But I think Frogmore is arguably a little bit more private. Charlotte says, home births scare me. I had 2 easy pregnancies followed by 2 subsequent emergency C-sections. Yeah, I'm sure it can be different every single time. I agree. I think the media should respect the decision. Let me just... Ooh, why has my screen stopped moving? Hang on. Oh, that's because it's jumped all the way down to the bottom. Let's go up a little bit. Hang on. Minter says, I heard that Doria has taken home birthing classes. I haven't heard that, but it's a possibility. Let's just... Oh, I think I've missed loads of comments. It just skipped all the way down to the bottom. Let's just go up a little bit. I can't find where I got left off. Oh, hang on. Here we go. I've caught up. Okay. Judy says, no shade and no drama, but I don't care for her sister. I prefer if they keep it a bit private. I think everyone's okay with them being private. But I think we are going to be in for a bumpy ride when it comes to lots of stories, lots of speculation, until this baby is born. Natalia says, I really don't like the term baby parade. I don't think anyone does, but that's what it is. You know, you're coming out immediately after the birth, sometimes hours after the birth, and you are parading your baby. Your baby is on show. It is a baby parade. That's what it is. It is what it is what it is. Maria says, I agree with you. There are pros and cons. I respect their decisions. I think everyone does. I just hope it works out. Like I say, I envisage there being lots of media speculation going on if they get no more information. Ariadne says, no royals before have been subject to the scrutiny of social media at this level. I agree to a point. I think, for example, if we go back to when Prince George was born, social media was still big at that point, but it wasn't as big as it is now. But there was, you know, think back to the birth of Prince George, there was a lot of attention on where baby was being born and all the rest of it. People were camped outside the Lindo wing for weeks. It was referred to as the Great Kate Wait, because people were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for hours and hours and hours. Some people had camped out for almost a week, I think, before baby was born. So I agree to a point, but also, you know, it did kind of happen a bit for Catherine as well, especially with Prince George, with the future king, the future king's birth. There was a lot of media attention, but I also agree that social media has moved on tremendously since then, and there is a lot of social media attention, definitely, 100%. Lots of people saying can't blaming them for wanting the privacy. We definitely are not having a fake pregnancy. We definitely don't know if she's having a C-section on the 25th or if it's a boy. I think that's definitely speculation. Cindy says, I think Frogmore House on the steps where their pictures were done. Maybe we will get an actual picture, not just the blanket with the baby in it. Possibly. There is a chance of that as well. Yes, thank you to the moderators for doing a wonderful job. Who knows if baby's going to come on the Queen's birthday? Sorry, I'll start again. Rin Wesley. See, I keep wanting to say Ron Weasley when I see your name. I don't get the psychology behind denying she's really pregnant. Neither do I. It's silly. Thank you to Sweet Serenity for your kind words. Apparently Australian news is reporting that Doria is on her way to the UK. I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to comment too much on that because I haven't seen that. Lots of people just agreeing that they should have what they want. Someone said, I think Tim said, is a home birth wise? Well, like I say, I think they will have a hospital on standby, and I'm thinking it will be Frimley Park, which is the closest to Windsor. Okay. People still commenting. Frosting Payne says, I don't believe the Aussie news, loads of... There is lots of, I have to say, there is lots of speculation that comes out of the Australian news. And I know that there are certain channels that that just go off Australian news, or they read Australian news, and I wouldn't believe everything that is around that. Because a lot of that is second-hand speculative news anyway. So be very wary of YouTube channels that just kind of quote from Australian news. I'm not saying it's all completely rubbish, but a lot of it is just kind of based on articles and things that they see that are obviously fake. I think people asking about the easel. Well, I don't think we're going to have the easel like straight away, obviously, but perhaps maybe the easel to coincide with the announcement when it is announced, maybe. I'd like to see the easel. However, baby is not a HRH or a prince or princess at the moment. As far as we're aware, the Queen still hasn't stepped in. So I'm thinking that they're going to let the natural order take effect, which is obviously, as you probably are all aware now, because I keep saying it, once Charles is king, as grandchildren of the monarch, baby Sussex or any siblings of baby Sussex will get the HRH or the prince or princess status, unless of course Harry and Meghan refuse it. Flossenog Payne says, according to one Aussie magazine, Beatrice was pregnant a year ago. It is baloney. Do you see what I mean? Michael says, what is the difference with the hospital instruments or medicine? Are they not portable? They can. I think the main difference is cleanliness and hygiene and being sterile. So obviously you know that a hospital delivery room is sterile. If you're having a home birth, any kind of operation where you're being cut, you do not want to risk infection. Now, I'm not saying Meghan and Harry's Frogmore Cottage is dirty. I'm not saying they have bugs everywhere and bacteria, but just in a normal, clean home, there is bacteria. Everyone has it. Doesn't matter how clean you are, there is bacteria in your house. And you do not want to be having, I think, if you can help it, surgery, which would increase the risk of infection in a home. I think if you're going to have a C-section, it's probably best just to go to the hospital. Even if you desperately want a home birth, if you need to go to hospital, just go to hospital. You know, there's no shame in it. It might not be what you want, but if it's going to be safe for you and it's going to be safe for baby, do it. Just do it. We may see a cannon salute. I'm still working on the baby shower. Annette says, I was late. Oh no. Have you said whether we'll know before or after the birth? I think we'll know about 2 days after. And do we know how they'll get to the hospital without the press? Again, that's why I think now it's a home birth, because they wouldn't be able to. If a helicopter landed in, if they went by motorcade, everyone would know. So it wouldn't be a secret. So I'm thinking now that to keep it secret for a couple of days, it would have to be a home birth. So I'm now firmly in the home birth camp. I wasn't previously. I mean, I still think there's lots of merits to having a hospital birth. And we could still see a hospital birth, like I said, if there's complications, if there's a C-section needed or whatever. But I think now we are firmly in the camp of home birth. No, they will not announce when she's in labour. I don't think so. Olivia doesn't think it's a home birth. I do think it's a home birth, because they aren't going to keep it... But it would be daft, wouldn't it, to go to hospital, to be seen to be going to hospital, and then just nothing. You would have to announce that the baby is born at that point. You couldn't just nothing. That wouldn't work. Apparently people are saying the long walk. I haven't heard anything about the long walk for that. Michael says, or they chose a really private hospital, probably not the big ones. Again, anything is a possibility, but I'm thinking now home birth and then hospital if needed. Okay, I'm going to go now. Thank you for joining me. That's literally all the information we have at the moment. And of course, if anything crops up, I will pop up and I will try and work our way around it. But at least now we have something concrete to go on. We know we know a little bit more, even if we don't know terribly too much. But I hope that by chatting about it, we've kind of worked out a few things about what's most likely to happen, at least. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media and hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And also please subscribe to this channel. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all and goodbye.